Oh, wow. Okay, we're liking that.
Yeah.
We're liking that. That is Lawrence Jones, who, again, you can see at the Blues Festival next weekend. You did a lovely interview with Lawrence, Marc. He seems
he's
like
a
really
lovely
good
chap.
guy.
I've been a fan since his first album. I think that's his fourth, and he's been Best British Youngster 3 times in a row. He's got to stop that now. He can win. He can win some other award.
Senior.
But he met up with a brilliant keyboard player whose name I haven't Googled recently, and that changed the writing. And I think having the extra a keyboard player in there, it was a power trio, worked really well. That organ sound, that stuff really gives it a depth.
See, I remember
fills out the holes, doesn't
it?
Beautiful.
I remember when, and we're going to hear something from Backdoor Sam shortly, but I remember when Davey Knowles worked with Ben Montench, and that made all the difference as well, because like you said, it sort of adds that whole sort of difference of sound. Speaking of the likes of Davey, Backdoor Sam, that sort of thing, we are talking obviously about the Big Wheel Blues Festival 20th year, which means that an awful lot has happened in those 20 years. Dickie Best, you've been sort of around it from the very beginning. Tell me what some of your highlights have been.
Well, there are so many. I mean, I do remember Peter Ellenberger.
Oh, Peter from the Riverside.
Oh, gosh, what a man. I mean, apropos nothing other than the fact he'd ring you up on a Friday night and say, I need some music, come and play. And we'd all get in our cars and arrive, and there'd be 20 or 30 people, and we'd stay there till 3 o'clock in the morning. But he was also a big part of the blues thing and opened his restaurant and did all the bits necessary. I remember were they called the Geneva Jazz Trio or whatever they were? They were friends of Peter's. They used to come and they for nothing. They used to come and stay and eat, and they'd play music all weekend. Never forget them. Who else? Larry McRae, one of our favourite songs. Don't Need No Woman Like That. That was a great night. Paddy Milner, who now plays with the Tom Jones Orchestra, keyboard player, incredible. They didn't have a bass player. They had a sousaphone, so all the bass notes were played on the sousaphone. All of those, hundreds of nights, go on forever.
And I tell you a guy that's been over a couple of times, playing for loads of the acts over the past 10, 12 years, even more, a drummer who is, I think, one of the finest drummers in Britain, Derby Todd. Now, Derby, he tours all over the world. I mean, he'd go on tour with anybody because he just does that, world tours. And then he comes back to the pub where I see him in Barnes in Chiswick, just across the river from Chiswick. And he'll play with all sorts of people, like Papa George, who has been here. I think he was playing with Buddy Whittington when Buddy came over here. So it's not only just the names, it's the people, the quality of the musicianship that comes on that boat, on those aeroplanes, and joins in with us lot. Well, it's a treat, isn't it?
And it's year after year, and it needs to be recognised, but it's very difficult to get your hole in the music market.
Yeah.
But they're just some incredible talents, if you love blues.
And it wouldn't happen with the support of the likes of, Arts Council and ELS are involved, and Bushies
Manx
as
Radio.
well. And Manx Radio, an association
all
with
of our
us,
sponsors
course.
have been
And James Osborne
brilliant.
finances.
Oh,
And
there you
James is a decent player as well,
Oh.
Yeah.
Afternoon, James, and thank you for your contribution.
See, there you go. So where then can people find out more about the Big Wheel Blues Festival? Where can they get tickets, that kind of thing?
Oh, you're asking me and I don't know.
600 555. Dial now. 600 555.
There we go. There's your
That's
answer.
your ticket line. villagaiety.com if you want to go online. And you don't have to come to both nights. Obviously, great if you do. £22.50 per night.
Cheap.
Cheap.
For all of those
for us,
acts,
yeah,
it is,
cheap.
yeah.
Come
And
on.
it's all happening out in the villa, isn't it? Is it all
all at the
one
villa.
room, or is it sort of dotted about?
Well,
or?
it's gonna-
Outdoor in the afternoon on Saturday, local acts,
That's lovely.
acoustic and some electric. Apparently the
Yeah.
Stalking Heads are playing once again.
Yeah, they will at their own insistence.
Earphones will be provided.
Yeah, they'll be there.
They will be there.
Stu Peters on bass, everybody. He'll be there Saturday
He'll be
afternoon.
there. It'll be
Oh, dear.
wonderful.
Yeah.
And then if it rains, we'll be in either the
Colonnade or
one of those suites. So
And then indoors for the night in the downstairs room, isn't it?
Yeah,
I always
yeah.
forget which one's which.
So much